Today on Experts Showcase, our guest expert is Tavis Buckland, talking about fierce competition. 3 things you need to know that will make you the obvious choice for your prospects. Tavis, welcome to Expert Showcase. We're so glad to have you as our expert guest today. How you doing?
Good, thanks, Mark.
Excellent. Well, give us a quick rundown here so that we can get our audience's mind in the right place here about what we're going to talk about in today's episode.
Well, we're talking about rising above all your competition, basically setting yourself apart. Getting back to some of the older days where people were running a lot of ads, we get immune to this is what I can do, A, B, or C, and when everybody's doing that, it sort of drowns out, and we don't see any of that. We sort of become blind to it, and even in some of the modern ways people are advertising online, we do the same type of thing. And so we're going to talk about a few things that we can do to set ourselves apart and really get our message across.
That sounds excellent. It's good stuff for our audience for sure. And we're prepping for the show. We're going to focus in on 3 areas, so I'm just going to list them for folks, and then we can kind of go through them one at a time. So we're going to talk about that you need to show people how you can help them, obviously, and then we're going to talk a little bit about showing people what you really know, and then finally we're going to wrap up by talking about letting other people show your success. So let's take those in order and kind of line them up and knock them down. So when you're working with a client and you're talking about really showing people how you can help them, let's talk a little bit about what that means in your context and how you work with people. Well,
showing somebody, being able to help somebody and being able to teach them is sort of a tricky situation, because when we are out there writing our blogs or doing some video content or things like that, that kind of we're showing people what we know, but especially if you're in a technical field, some of that can just blow right over your head, and it's not really helping somebody with a problem. What the whole idea is really adding value and becoming a value to your prospects. So I guess the main point there is just becoming a value by helping somebody solve a problem or even create a turning point for them, sort of opening up new avenues for them. So that they're happy to see that email in their inbox or see your next blog or video that you put out, and really adding value and becoming an asset.
Absolutely. I think we speak very much the same language. I mean, Chris and I are always talking about, in our sort of jargon version of that, we really tell people to focus on a core problem area that you know is critical to your audience, because that's what they really care about more so than who you are. Solve that problem for you, you deliver some great value, and now you're on the right wavelength, right?
Correct. Yeah, that's exactly it. And so there's the two parts there, and showing people what you know isn't always making a connection with them, and so what you really want to do is be an educator and an advocate for your prospects.
Yeah, we had a guest on not that long ago who used the phrase that I really love, education-based marketing, and I think it's a great way for most coaches and consultants to really kind of get into that top-of-mind space with their ideal audience. Is to really connect around that. So let's talk a little bit then about your second point, which really is that you do still have to show people what you know. So what's the right way to do that, and what do you advise people?
Well, in the past few years, everybody's getting on board with blogging. Social media is a great place, and being in touch with people in comments and things like that. Creating videos is, for me, I think, is one of the best ways when I'm watching somebody on screen. It really makes a connection, and we go back to the old sales saying that if you can make 5 points of contact with somebody, then you build that trust to where you can make the sale. And I think video is a great way to do that, and so that kind of plays in part there too. Writing a book is another way to show people what you know, and along that way you're educating them, and maybe you can help them out in a few different ways, and a bigger piece like a book. So those are some ways that that people have been working on doing that.
Tavis, I think we're speaking the same language for sure. I mean, yes, couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah, I'm not a real fan of video though. I mean, I just really don't like it. I mean, I prefer the written word. It's it's hard to get on camera. No, but the beautiful thing about video, of course, is that you've got so many layers of communication going on at the same time, right? I mean, in a blog, you have to be a pretty killer writer in order to really fully get the emotion across and paint a picture.
Absolutely.
Whereas in video, you can see facial expression. I mean, you and I are basically looking each other in the eye, even though I'm outside Philadelphia and you're out in Seattle, Washington, and we can connect this way. And you can connect with your audience in the same way, and they can really get a sense of who you are and whether they like your style, right? So
absolutely.
And of course, it's also, as you said, all about really showing your knowledge base, showing your expertise, so that they can really connect with you. So now, I'm interested about your third point here, though, because you're talking about let other people show your success. So let's talk about that. That sounds quite important.
Yeah, when you're doing the first few things and you're getting your message out there and you're connecting with people, and you sort of rise up to the top of your field and you're getting up there a ways, and some of the people that are already doing these things, you sort of get up there, and then you're at a level playing field with everyone in the top. And so that once you get to that point, what is the next level? What's some next level stuff that you can do? And going back again to basic sales and marketing, the best referral is the best way to make a client. Having other people talk about you is, like I said before, is a lot more powerful than having you talk about yourself all the time. So I like to give a little example. If you're looking for a product or a service, like for instance, if you're thinking about restructuring your business, and you need to get an attorney that specializes in taxes and restructuring, so you can benefit from that. You might know somebody, like maybe at the local chamber of commerce, that maybe some people have done business with. That's a good contact to maybe go do business with, somebody like that. But if then you decide to get into Google and look around and see what you can find, maybe you find another website and the guy's got a video on there and you make a connection with them, and so you decide to do a little research. You pop his name in the Google box and see what comes up, and if first thing you see is this guy's written a book on restructuring business.
Right.
Look down a little bit further, and maybe there was some tax changes, and he was quoted in an article in a news piece on CNN or something of that nature. Or you find that he's had an article in a popular business magazine. These types of things are trust triggers for people. It really helps with the buying decision. We always want to know what the outcome is. We're always looking for that security when we're making a big decision like that.
Right.
You know, if you're restructuring your business, this is going to affect you for a long time, and you need to be sure of your decision. Well, these are the types of things that bring you to that next level. That's the next level stuff, is having other people talking about you and being looked at as an authority, really.
I think that's excellent stuff, Tavis. I mean, I often find that people think that the big issue is the money, right? But really, people are afraid to make a stupid decision, you know. And you're talking about
Absolutely.
Getting that third-party endorsement, that kind of credibility, that whether it's testimonial, whether it's as seen on CNN, whether it's my book is on Amazon, and it's so. Those are. I love what was the phrase you used? Trust signals. Trust triggers. Love that. Yeah, absolutely. Because if, as you said, if I'm getting a direct referral from someone I know, well, that I'm getting that transfer of trust there. But if I don't have that personal referral, I need something more than just you talking about yourself, right?
Absolutely.
That's the beautiful thing about what you're talking about. So, this is so. How do you help people achieve that, though? I mean, in your own work, I mean.
Well, there's a number of things we can do. First of all, we find what it specifically it is that you're good at. Where do you want to be spending most of your time helping people, and where can you add the most value? And that in itself can help you stand apart. If you're in a general practice doing multiple things, you sort of blend in the background. But if you're the guy who's known for being best for a particular niche in your line of work, that can help you stand apart, and that's where you can become an expert. You become an expert on that one particular thing. Like in the example I gave, tax law, maybe that is what you specialize in, is situating businesses in that would be your niche. And then what we would do is we would try and get you out there, get you quoted, get you in some magazines and some things where people can recognize you as that expert. And if you sit around and wait for somebody to come along and anoint you and say, now you're an expert in your field because you've been in it for X number of years, it's never going to happen.
Right, or it's going to take a really long time. Yeah,
it will take a really long time. So you're just opening yourself up to being noticed and being discovered, and having people want to write about you, and finding that content when they're writing an article and they need to know who knows about this, and who could I contact to get some information for this piece that I'm writing, or things of that nature.
So you're really helping people with that positioning of how to get into those places, how to get that recognition, how to get that as seen on CNN kind of connection, so that they can achieve that.
That's exactly what I do.
Excellent. Well, this is great stuff, Tavis, and people really need to get connected with you to find this out. So we've been talking with Tavis Buckland on Expert Showcase today, talking about the fact that the competition is fierce, and that there are 3 things that you can do here that will really get you to be the obvious choice. So before I tell people how they can get connected with you and get in touch with you, let me just recap here. So we've been talking about these 3 things. So we've been talking about the fact that you really need to show people how you can help them, be problem focused, show them that value up front. Show them that you know what you're talking about, so that credibility component to really show that you are the expert you claim to be in the content that you're putting out there, and then getting this kind of third-party, trust trigger, getting this whether it's testimonials, whether it's PR pieces, whether it's getting positioned in magazines, getting quoted, all that great stuff. So this is terrific stuff, Davis. So to get in touch with you, people should, get your authority positioning guide, which they can get on your website, which is at majormediaplacement.com. Did I get that right?
That's right.
All right. And tell me a little bit, real quick, what is the authority posting guide?
The authority positioning guide. This is going to give you some tips. It's going to explain a little bit about what we talked about here. Adding intrinsic value to your business. So that you can charge a little bit more, and then there's a whole section in there showing you some tips on how you can get started creating some authority for yourself. There's some real good resources in there for some websites that you can go to and start getting yourself out there and get noticed.
There you have it. So get connected with Tavis Buckland. Go to majormediaplacement.com and get the authority positioning guide right now. So Tavis, thanks so much for being our guest today on Expert Showcase. I look forward to continuing conversations and continuing to have a relationship with you in the future.
Thanks, Mark.
And another great Expert Showcase episode. Chris, what should people do right now?
Yeah, if you're watching this and you're a coach or consultant, imagine what it would do for you and your business if you were a guest on Experts Showcase. And here's the best part. Other than possibly increasing your business, an appearance on Expert Showcase is free. We give you a copy of your episode so you can use as marketing collateral, and we give you a coaching session to go along with it to tell you how you can best market your episode and other tips and tricks about your business. So what you want to do is head on over to expertshowcase.com, click on the big yellow apply button, and apply to be our next featured guest on the Expert Showcase. Now, if you're a coach or consultant and you've already imagined what having your own internet talk show will do for you, then we want you to head to VideoContent.Agency and check us out, check our packages out, and get in contact with us. Let's see if we're a good fit, and let's see if we're the ones to produce you and make you the next star and have your own internet talk show. And until next time, Mark, anything else?
I couldn't have said it any better, so just do what he said.